In the previous class, we have discussed the theory about the residential status for individual. Okay, so for the ease of understanding, I classified the individuals into four categories. Okay, so we'll solve the problems one by one based on various categories. So we'll look at the first problem. First problem is relating to category one individuals. Mr. Ajay is an Indian citizen and a member of the crew of Mauritius bound Indian ship, engaged in carriage of passengers in international traffic departing from Mumbai port on 16th July. From the following details for the previous year 21-22, determine the residential status of Mr. Ajay for assessment year 22-23. Assuming that his stay in India in the last 4 years preceding 21-22 is 415 days and last 7 previous years preceding 21-22 is 745 days. Date entered into the continuous discharge certificate in respect of joining the ship by Mr. Ajay 16 July 2021. Date entering into the continuous discharge certificate in respect of signing of the ship by Mr. Ajay 19 January 2022. Here these two dates, so these two dates, date of joining and date of leaving the ship, has to be excluded. That should be counted as if it is not in India. Date of joining the ship and date of signing of the ship shall be excluded as if they are not in India. Remember, the provisions of the residential status are designed in favor of these outgoing persons. Since why, in what way I am saying that these are in favor of those persons? Because the more the days you are excluding, the less the chances of being a resident in India, less the chances of being a resident, and less the probability of taxation, less the amount of taxation. Okay, so the provisions are designed in favor of these persons. Stringent regulations for becoming a resident. So if the regulations are very stringent for becoming a resident, less chances of becoming a resident. Less chances of becoming a resident means less amount of tax to be payable. Therefore, these two dates has to be excluded. Date of joining the ship and date of signing of the ship shall be excluded. So in the given case. In the given case, for the previous year 21-22, how long he has stayed in India? We have to count how long he has stayed in India. Okay, so therefore, what is our previous year? Our previous year, okay, so our previous year is 21-22. Our relevant previous year 21-22. 21-22 starts from 1st April 21 till 31st March 22. Till 31st March 22. This is the period I have to consider. Okay. 1st April 21 to 31st March 22. Okay. Right. So he left India on 16th July. Therefore, I have to exclude 16th July. I have to treat as if 16th July is not in India. I have to treat as if 16th July is not in India. Therefore, I'll consider the number of days stayed in India. April, he has stayed 30 days. May, he has stayed 31 days. June, 30 days. June, 30 days. July, he left India on 16th. Therefore, I have to exclude 16th and I'll count only 15 days. And in the month of January, he came on 19th. I have to exclude as if 19th also is not in India. So in the month of January, we have to write 31 days. 31 days minus 19 days. 31 days minus 19 days is in India. Okay. 31 days minus 19 days. In January, 31 days minus 19 days. So 31 minus 19, 31 minus 19, 12 days. Feb 28 days. Okay. March 21 days. March 21 days. March 21 days. Okay. Therefore, in total, 167 days. He has stayed in India for a period of 167 days. So he left India on 16th July. Therefore, I'll take April 30, May 31, June 30, and July 15th. I will not consider 16th. So he's not there in India from the 16th onwards. And January, he came on 19th. Therefore, I'll take 12 days, Feb 28 days, and March 21 days total. Total stay in India is 161 days. 167, Feb 28, and March 31. Sorry. March 31, 177 days. 177 days. Okay, total 177 days stay in India. So since he belongs to a category 1 individual, either he should stay in India 182 days or more. So this condition is not satisfied. He has stayed only 177 days, not 182 days. Therefore, this condition is failed. And we are unable to check this condition due to lack of information. How much income he is earning? Due to lack of information, we are unable to check this reason. Therefore, for this problem, we'll ignore this reason. Frankly speaking, for the examination, I have observed the previous examination questions. None of the examination questions touched this point. Maybe they thought at the academic level this may not be necessary. Therefore, for the sake of simplicity in the examination, just ignore this reason. Just concentrate on this reason. That's it. Category 1 individual, not ordinarily resident. So he is not a resident at all. If he is a resident, then there is a question of resident and ordinary resident and resident but not ordinary resident. In the given case, he is not a resident at all. Therefore, since the stay in India is 182, is 177 days only, that is less than required 180 days, less than the required number of 182 days, Mr. What is the name given? Mr. Ajay is treated as a non-resident. Mr. Ajay is treated as a non-resident. For the previous year 21-22 and assessment year at 22-23. For the previous year 21-22 and assessment year at 22-23. Okay, due to lack of information. So due to the absence of information, owing to lack of information, second reason as given in section 6 subsection 1a, section 6 subsection 1a has not been applied, has not been checked or analyzed. Okay, has not been checked. Therefore, he is a resident. Okay, right. This is the category 1 individual. So once again, I'll give the reasons. So for this crew and members going abroad for employment and persons of Indian origin, occasionally visiting to India, the provisions are drawn in favor of them. Okay, so more stringent criteria for resident, for becoming resident. More stringent criteria for becoming a resident. Less chances of becoming resident. As you observe, unlike this category 3rd and 4th category people, this criteria has not been given 60 plus 365 days. This criteria has not been given, strictly 182 days. That is the reason he is not a resident in the current year. He's not a resident. Had we applied this, maybe the answer would be different. Therefore, more stringent criteria for becoming resident, less chances of becoming resident, and less amount of tax. Comparatively less amount of tax. This is a favorable treatment to the crew of the member of the crew of an Indian ship, persons going abroad for employment, and persons occasionally visiting India. So for them, these three are applicable. More stringent criteria for becoming a resident, less chance of becoming a resident, comparatively less amount of tax. For other category of people, more stringent criteria and more chance of becoming a resident and comparatively less amount. Sir, why should we read this more stringent criteria, less chances? Because if you observe at the end, for other categories of people, date of departure and date of arrival are included. So if you include more days, obviously more chances of becoming a resident. If you exclude more days, less chance of becoming a resident. This is the point we have to observe. For other category of people, date of departure and date of arrival has been included. For this category of people, they have been excluded. That means the provisions are stringent to these persons and lenient, somewhat comparatively soft tone for this kind of people. Okay, so this is the reason we have to remember. So therefore, more stringent provisions means more days to be included. Okay, less stringent provisions means, more stringent criteria for becoming a resident means more days to be excluded. less days will be counted. Less days will be counted. That is the reason we are excluding here and we are including here. So the more number of days we are including, more the number of days we include, more the chance of becoming a resident. Less the number of days included, less the chance of becoming a resident. So be careful. For other categories, date of departure and date of arrival are included. For this crew people, for this member of the crew, so date of joining and date of joining the ship and date of signing of the ship has been excluded. Okay. Right. This is one problem relating to category 1 individuals. Okay. So we'll look at the second problem relating to same category 1 individuals. Look at the second problem. Mr. Ram, an Indian citizen, left India on 22nd September 2022 for the first time to work as an officer of a company in Germany. Determine the residential status of Ram for the assessment year 23-24. So since he's an Indian citizen, left India to work as an officer of company in Germany, he also comes under the category 1 individual. He also comes under the category 1 individual. What is the category 1 individual? Who leaves India for the purpose of employment outside India. Who leaves India for the purpose of employment outside India. He is also counted as category 1 individual. Same criteria, 182 days. Look at this. So he left India on 22nd September 2022. So for the assessment year 23-24, previous year is 22-23. Okay. So practical question 2. Practical question 2. So what is the assessment year and what is the previous year? So as clear as possible, our answer should be as clear as possible. No hurry in writing the answer. No hurry in writing the answer, because the more the hurry, the more the chances of making a mistakes. Okay. Right. Next. So what is the assessment year, boss? The assessment year is 23-24. Assessment year is 2023-24. Assessment year is 23-24. So obviously previous year would be 22-23. Previous year would be 22-23. 1st April 22 to 31st March 23. 31st March 23. So therefore, he left India. He left India on 22nd September. He left India on 22nd September. As I told you, other than this crew people, date of departure also shall also be included in India. Date of departure shall also be included in India. So therefore, 22nd September also I have to include in India. So April, how many days he has stayed in India? April 30 days, May 31, and June 30, July 31, August 31, and September, August 31, and September I have to include 22. So therefore, in total 175 days. In total 175 days. So for the same reason, since he's a category 1 individual, 182 days stay in India is must and should. Okay, due to lack of information, we are not applying the second condition. So we can write the same description. We can write the same description. Okay, we can write the same description here also. We can write the same description. Since the stay in India is 175 days, since the stay in India is 175 days only, that is less than required number of 182 days. Mr. Ram, what is the name? Mr. Ram, an Indian citizen. Okay, Mr. Ram, an Indian citizen. Mr. Ram is treated as resident, non-resident for the previous year 22-23. For the previous year 22-23 and assessment year for the previous year, Mr. Ram is treated as a non-resident for the previous year 22-23 and assessment year 23-24. And assessment year at 23-24. Okay, due to lack of information, as I told you, we are not verifying the second condition. Due to lack of information, second condition is not verified. Due to lack of information, second condition is not verified. Owing to lack of information, second reason as given in section 6 subsection 1a has not been checked. Therefore, he is a non-resident. Okay. So in this video, that's all in this video. In the next video, we'll solve the problems relating to category 2 individuals. So no confusion, keep the subject as clear as possible. So when the moment you look at the problem in the question, you should be immediately able to click whether it's a category 1, category 2, or category 3 or category 4. Practically for the examination, based on the past experience, we can ignore reason 2. Category 1 means reason 1. Category 1 means reason 1. Category 2 means also reason 1. Practically, they don't give much information. So academically, in the examination, they may not be giving this information. Therefore, reason one. Stick on to this reason one. In the next video, we'll solve the problems relating to category 2 individuals. Thank you.